Hello children, today we will discuss about loop statements and its parts, types of loops and jump statements. The iteration statements allow a set of instructions to be performed repeatedly until a certain condition is fulfilled. The iteration statements are also called loops or looping statements. Java provides three kinds of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. All three loop constructs of Java repeat a set of statements as long as a specified condition remains true. This specified condition is generally referred to as a loop control. Now, let us see what are the different parts of a loop. Every loop has its elements that control and govern its execution. Generally, a loop has four elements that have different purposes. These elements are: number one, initialization expressions. The initialization expressions give the loop variables their first values. The initialization expressions are executed only once in the beginning of the loop. Second, the test expression. The test expression or the test condition is an expression whose truth value decides whether the loop body will be executed or not. If the test expression evaluates true, the loop body gets executed. Otherwise, the loop is terminated. In an entry-controlled loop, the test expression is evaluated before entering into a loop, whereas in an exit-controlled loop, the test expression is evaluated before exiting from the loop. In Java, the for loop and while loop are entry-controlled loops and do while loop is exit-controlled loop. Number 3, the update expressions. The update expressions change the values of loop variables. The update expression is executed at the end of the loop after the loop body is executed. Number 4, the body of the loop. The statements are executed repeatedly from the body of the loop. In an entry-controlled loop, first the test expression is evaluated, and if it is true, the body of the loop is executed. If the test expression evaluates to false, the loop is terminated. In an exit-controlled loop, the body of the loop is executed first and then the test expression is evaluated. If it evaluates to false, the loop is terminated, otherwise repeated. Types of loops: while loop, for loop, and do while loop. The syntax of a while statement is while and in bracket loop repetition condition, then statement. Loop repetition condition is the condition which controls the loop. The statement is repeated as long as the loop repetition condition is true. A loop is called an infinite loop if the loop repetition condition is always true. Next, for loop. A for statement has the following syntax. The initialization is executed once, then the statement is executed until the condition becomes false, then the increment portion is executed at the end of each iteration. The syntax of do while loop is do, open braces, then write the statements, close the brace, then while, in bracket, loop repetition condition. The statement is first executed. If the loop repetition condition is true, the statement is repeated. Otherwise, the loop is exited. The next topic is nested loops. Nested loops consist of an outer loop with one or more inner loops. For example, for I is equal to 1, semicolon, I less than or equal to 100, semicolon, I plus plus, bracket close. Open the brace and write the next loop, that is for j is equal to 1, semicolon, j less than or equal to 50, semicolon, j plus plus. Open another brace and write the statements inside the inner loop. After the statements, close the inner loop first, then the outer loop. The above loop will run for 100 into 50 iterations. The next is infinite loop. An infinite loop works endlessly since the test expression is always true. Jump statements. The jump statements unconditionally transfer program control within a function. Java has three statements that perform an unconditional branch: return, break, and continue. Of these, you may use return anywhere in the program, whereas break and continue are used inside smallest enclosings like loops. Break statement. The break statement enables a program to skip over a part of code. A break statement terminates the smallest enclosing, while, do while, and for statements. A break statement skips the rest of the loop and jumps over the statement following the loop. Continue statement. The continue statement works somewhat like the break statement. For the for loop, continue causes the conditional test and increment portion of the loop to execute. For while and do while loops, program control passes to the conditional tests. Now, let us discuss some questions and answers. The first question is, the statement I++ is equivalent to option A, I is equal to I plus I, option B, I is equal to I plus 1, option C, I is equal to I minus 1, and option D, I minus minus. The answer is option B, that is I is equal to I plus 1. Second question, what is wrong for int k is equal to 2, comma, k less than or equal to 12, comma, k plus plus? Option A, the increment should always be plus plus k. Option B, the variable must always be the letter I when using a for loop. Option C, there should be a semicolon at the end of the statement. Option D, the commas should be semicolons. The answer is option D. The commas should be semicolons. Question 3. Which looping process checks the test condition at the end of the loop? Option A, for. Option B, while. Option C, do while. Option D, no looping process checks the test condition at the end. The answer is option C, do while loop. Question number 4. Which looping process is best used when the number of iterations is known? Option A, for. Option B, while. Option C, do while. And option D, all looping processes require that the number of iterations be known. The answer is option A, for loop. Question number 5. A continue statement causes execution skip to. Option A, the return 0 statement. Option B, the first statement after the loop. Option C, the statement following the continue statement. Option D, the next iteration of the loop. The answer is option D, the next iteration of the loop.